Guys, now we move into the next topic, okay, in CSS layout, and this time we are discussing about CSS box model. Okay, what is CSS box model? Now, all HTML elements, okay, in CSS, okay, all HTML elements can be considered as boxes, okay, as boxes, meaning that every single element in HTML is considered as boxes. Okay, there are boxes. Now, the box model, okay, are very useful to define the design and layout with CSS. All right. Now, let me show you, for example, here. This is what we can get from w3school.com. Okay, w3school.com. Okay, we can go to the CSS tutorial and then go to CSS box model. And here is the illustration, okay, of the box model. Now, CSS box model is essentially a box that wraps around every HTML elements, right? Now, the most basic about element, it contain content. Okay, the most basic about element is that it contain content. Okay, there are content. Okay, let's say for example, paragraph, open tag P, closing tag P. Okay, and inside P is where we write the text content. Okay, katakanlah yang kita typekan, let's say what we type is the word content. So content, okay, is actually the text content. Okay, now that is the basic part, content. Now, around content is what we call padding. Around content is what we call padding. Okay, it's what we call padding. And, okay, around padding is what we call border. Okay, is what we call border. All right. So padding is actually a space between content and its border. All right. Padding is actually a space between content and its border. All right. Now, in this case, if these particular things, okay, the white area, okay, the white area is the content, then we can actually add a padding so that there will be a space between, okay, content and its border, the green line. Okay, border, the green line. Okay, and beyond border, all right, beyond border, meaning that between one element with other element, there is what we call margin. Okay, so margin is actually a space beyond border. Okay, margin is a space beyond border. So these three fundamental concepts, the padding, border, and margin, okay, is what we will use a lot, okay, when we arrange content or when we create layout for our web page. So these are the things that we need to understand. Now, the concept of padding is actually, okay, very similar with HTML tags called cell padding. Okay, in CSS we call it padding. Okay, in CSS, okay, the property is called padding. Okay, but okay, in HTML, the elements, okay, sorry, the attribute is called cell padding. Okay, cell padding. Okay, the same goes with margin. In CSS, okay, the property is called margin, but in HTML, the attribute is called cell spacing. All right, cell spacing, but the concept is actually the same. All right, it's about the space between content in its border called padding, and the space beyond border called margin. So every time we want to move item, everyone we want to set space between section, for example, okay, we will use this, whether padding or margin, right? That is the fundamental concepts of box model.